Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial, and these are your February 2025 horoscope. February is the prelude to the most intense period of 2025, which will be March and April, because all the planets will be passing through Pisces and Aries in March and April, going retrograde, eclipses, changing signs. Oh, so exciting. But February is the preparation month with some very positive effects that we'll receive from the universe. First of all, it's Jupiter is turning direct. Here it is, my calendar, my 2025 calendar. You can have it now. It's 200 pages, almost interactive. But first of all, Jupiter around the 4th turns direct. And this is a great blessing. When Jupiter turns direct, here is the text for it, but you can start seeing results and rewards for previous actions. We can get the blessings from above, resolutions of moral problems of some sort, just the turning of the winds. Jupiter becomes much more stronger. I call it like double Jupiter when it starts turning direct, because it's energy, it's basically stationary pretty much the whole of February around the 11th 12 degrees of Gemini, and it's a very auspicious degree because right behind Jupiter, where it's turning direct and it's going to become stronger and things will start moving forward for us, it's the most auspicious star in the sky, the star Aldebaran, which in ancient astrology is the star of wealth, of blessings, of fortune. So this is a good omen for the finances of the world. Jupiter is turning direct there. So hopefully, generally, all of us will see some financially, some improvement in your personal life. It will depend where it affects you, what kind of blessings this Jupiter with Aldebaran will bring. The bullseye, the luckiest star. But yes, that's the one good side of it. And we're going to have Venus entering into Aries, where it's going to stay 3 months, the whole of February, the whole of March, then it skips April, and the whole of May. So when Venus is so long in a sign, it's going to give us blessings there in certain area of our life. Think back to 2017 around the spring. There was a similar situation there, but I'll go through each of the 12 signs to see. Venus always improves and makes better whatever area it passes through, despite of its retrograde motion, which will start in March. Its final goal is to make something perfect, more balanced, more worthy of our time, more pleasant, more easy to receive help there in some way, to improve it, to make it better. So certain areas of your life you're going to be making better and improving. And another big event is that Mars is turning direct towards the end of February, 23 degrees. It's been retrograde December, January, most of February. As I said, I expect this Mars retrograde to bring changes, corrections of the prices of real estate, of borders, of countries, and maybe stalling back wars because Mars is moving retrograde in some way. But there will be kind of like maybe endings of fights, of battles, or easing off of difficulties in such areas. If there was problems, they start getting fixed. If there was inflammatory conditions, flus, hopefully will become less so, and energy and productivity will increase. You might see the results of working hard on something and starting to see the results of it. And emotionally, people will not be as tense and so sensitive and touchy as they are during Mars retrograde. But that's mostly towards the end of the month that we'll see those improvements. And the other big event that is happening is the North Node with Neptune. We've never seen this in our lifetime, and we'll never see it again, because Neptune will never be again in Pisces, and North Node with Neptune in Pisces is once in a lifetime experience. They're joining together. The whole February, March is under its influence. They're within a degree all the time together. It's going to get surreal, guys. Neptune is otherworldly planet. Pisces is otherworldly energy. North Node, wherever it goes and joins Neptune in Pisces, it's like you're in some LSD trip. Some of you will be waking up and wondering, do I live on Earth, or what is this different reality? I'm a parallel world of some sort. You'll see it maybe on the news that it's a lot of new energy. North Node starts a new cycle with Neptune for which will be 16 years old, but it's very Piscean. It's unfamiliar. Pisces is unfamiliar. It feels foreign. It's very different. You're waking up in a new world, in a new reality. This will happen in your personal life as well. And also intuition will be through the roof this month. People will be dreaming about past events, past life, future events, because the wall between the worlds thin with this really like a portal to another dimension, Neptune and North Node together. So in some areas of your life, depending where it falls from your ascendant, sun or moon, you might have like epiphanies. God might show you directly through your third eye or through intuitions and hunches and inspirations, some secrets that were revealed for you and that you'll become aware of. But also there is a negative side to Neptune North Node, because all the negative vibrations of Pisces and Neptune can escalate through the North Node. Fears, blame, guilt, fear of the unknown, this kind of low vibrational emotions that is just fears, paranoia, suspicions as well, victimhood states. And so be careful, stay at the high vibrations the whole 2 months, February and March. I would advise you, if you can listen to classical music, to bring in the high vibrations of Neptune, North Node, Pisces, be around nature more, have introspective time alone. We're going to have a lot of Pisces planets, as you can see, not just February, but March and April. So many planets will be there. It's going to be crazy. So this inner work and introspection is good to do, but something magical can come through Neptune North Node, because they open portals to the astral. If you're connected to the high astral, if you're naturally forgiving, kind person, if you can let go of the past, if you can let go of things that no longer serve you, you can have like a divine gift of blessing. Neptune is divine love, unconditional love, and divine grace. And the North Node enhances it in Pisces. So like a miraculous events and even actual miracles, I don't know, Fatima scale can happen around the world, but in your personal life as well, where you're freed from karmas you've been carrying for a long time. Pisces is the last time of paying off the karma. Neptune is also the same energy. The North Node is, kind of escalates all this. So you pay off some debt and you're freed from something. A miracle happens in your life. Like God gives you through unconditional love, not because you deserve it, because God is loving, the Creator is loving. If you turn towards in a prayerful condition, an introspective condition, if you give yourself time after you wake up to go within, there can be some true miracles that happen. And just dreams will be crazy. Just to warn you, Neptune with the North Node, you might be dreaming of things that very vivid dreams that come to the surface, sometimes almost real. Like, just be aware, maybe a bit more rest in February and in March with the so many Pisces energies. But Mars is turning direct, so things will start becoming. But Mars turns direct at the end of February, and Venus and Mercury turn retrograde in March. So it's non-stop February, March. So January, February, March, April. After April, things start becoming much more smoother, guys. But just the preparation phase, and use the Piscean energy of Neptune and the North Node to manifest. And Saturn is there. Neptune is a high ideal. Connect yourself to high refined feelings through art, through music, through imagining how you want things to be, the ideal version of it. And Saturn is there, can make it happen over the next 2-3 months to manifest it. Use this connection to the higher world, so otherwise you don't want to connect to the inner fears, the lower astral, and deception. You have to be careful with Neptune North Node. There'll be many charismatic figures that appear, prophets, gurus, saviors of the world. Neptune Pisces is to save, and people feel very excited about that. But the bubble will quickly burst if such figures are not truthful and aligned to divine order, whether they're rulers, leaders, or people in your personal life. If they're promising you the moon and the stars, which these halls will be very high in February, March, because in April, the North Node and Saturn join together. So the bubble will burst. Saturn is a corrective influence down to earth, And if you don't see results, you have to correct something, or you see the lies, or if it was like a proper inspirational figure or idea you had, you can start manifesting it towards April. This ideal that comes to you now, this inspiration that you divinely download. So wow, what a magical, what a surreal, what another worldly energy we are gonna have. It's gonna get weird, it's gonna get fantastic, it's gonna get intense emotionally. And let's dive into the 12 signs. If you want my personal horoscope for each of the 12 signs for 2025, I'm putting a link below. Each 2.5 hours for each sign. I've poured my soul and heart in them. We sold thousands so far, no refunds, no one has asked for one. People are loving them. If you want to try for your personal sign, I recommend Ascendant. And if you want all 3 Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, it's a discount price. Putting a link below, or the calendar, so you know what is happening every day of the year. But now let's begin for the 12 signs. Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Aries, from the beginning of the month, Venus will enter your sign and will stay there pretty much till June, almost till the end of May, except the month of April, when it will dip back into your 12th house. But pretty much February, March, and May, you're gonna have Venus, the planet of love. It's a very protective planet. It's the smaller benefic in your sign. Yes, it will go retrograde in your sign in March. Yes, you'll be rethinking some things from the past and going back to the past, but it's very protective influence. It's going, no matter what is happening, the ultimate goal of Venus is to harmonize, to bring more beauty, to bring more comfort and ease in your life. And you might see the final results only towards May of this process that starts now from February. In February is the pre-shadow period for your Aries, when Venus will be there. Especially the first 10 degrees will feel the benefits, and also when it goes retrograde, the rethinking and redoing and reevaluation, because Venus gets only to that around the 10th degree of Aries. But because it's in your sign, all Aries, just having it in your sign, have the protection of Venus to make things more easy for you in some way, more beautiful, more harmonious and balanced. And now you're going to see the seeds. Some new theme will start in February in your life, because Venus is still moving direct. It brings in some new theme. And when it starts moving retrograde at the beginning of March, something you have to change there, to reshape, to reimagine a certain part of your life that is not as balanced, that is not as fair, will be corrected. But that's more towards March energy. But initially in February now, maybe a new theme is opening for you, and it's Venusian in nature. And for you, Venus rules the 2nd house, Taurus, as the ruler of Taurus, and the 7th house. So a lot of the themes that come to the forefront for you almost till the end of May will be connected. These new themes are connected either to money and finances and resources and assets. On the spiritual level, it's more to do with your value, your self-worth. How much do you value yourself? How worthy you are? You'll start thinking about such things. That maybe you change prices, or maybe you change in yourself how you value yourself in a more fair way. If you're overpricing yourself, if you're underpricing yourself, Venus wants to make it fair. Over the next 3-4 months, you'd readjust to the true value that you have. And Venus usually tends to do things better. So we're thinking to the better. Your value will go to a better place, let's say. Venus also wants to make not just more materially comfortable your life with resources, that some of you might start thinking of certain investments, of ideas about that can make you financially more comfortable, more stable. These things will be at the forefront of your mind, because Venus that rules the 2nd house is there. Also, as I said, with your value, with your self-worth and self-love. Such topics will be very dominant for a few months for you, Aries. I can tell you, last time Venus was in Aries was 2017, in the spring again. And exactly the time, it was 3 or 4 months there. And At that period, a lot of beautiful things happened to me. Again, I want to tell you, don't get scared that Venus will be retrograde, because ultimately it brings very good things. It's a benefic. And what happened during that time is I was afraid to do things alone for something. I didn't think I was good enough. And I found out that certain partnership, because Venus also rules your seventh house of partnerships, those themes will be there. For me, it was a business partnerships, and I was giving my power too much away to that. And I discovered when Venus went retrograde certain unpleasant sides about this business partnership that was going behind my back. That's been going on for a while. Venus retrograde in March will reveal if there is some imbalances there, if you've been taken advantage by another or something like that, will become more and more themed as Venus progresses into Aries. And I ended that partnership. So this can also be part of the theme more towards March and onwards. And I was afraid, like, I'm not good enough to do it alone. But I discovered during the whole period of Venus in Aries, actually, I could do it much better. I burned the bridge, but I rediscovered more self-worth, more self-respect almost. The first house is you, how you view yourself, and Venus wants to raise up the vibration there and make you appreciate yourself more. That was my discovery. Yes, there was this critical period of Venus retrograde that happened for me, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do it alone, but I could. I'm just giving you examples. So think back to 2017. I'm not saying the exact same thing will happen, not at all. You're on high on the evolutionary development, some different thing, but it might be connected to self-worth, value, money, valuables. And at the end of this transit towards May onwards, you might have more stable finances, more valuables that you, and also second houses, your clothes, the food that you eat, how you sustain yourself. You might have upgraded those during this whole 3-4 period month in some way. For something that the high vibration of Venus is something that's wholesome, that's natural, that is good for you, because Venus is the planet that rules in astrology. Everything natural, everything life, it's one of the planets that revives you like a nurse, that gives you. So it's kind of some healing influence. If it's your ascendant in Aries, they can be healing for your health. Yes, during the retrograde, you might have to rethink how you live your life and lifestyle and health, but it ultimately takes you to more balanced health and self view of yourself. If it's your moon, it wants to rebalance your personal emotional life. It wants to heal your feelings, this Venus, for 4 months there. Your relationships as well, because the moon is connected to relationships. Your family life, how you feel about yourself, or your home and property and real estate, that it can do something really good about it. If it's your Sunday, it's very often to do about your self-confidence, about your dreams and goals, about the more proactive area of your life where you want to create something, also career related. Oh, love as well. Venus definitely for Aries over those 4 months can create something connected to love that will have to be reevaluated during the retrograde period in March in some way, or correct its course. And Venus also rules anything Venusian, so you can start some themes of not just relationships, partnerships, collaborations and money, whatever, but also if you work in any Venusian sphere like entertainment, art, music, relational or contractual contracts. Or even if you don't work it, it might be a theme of some agreements or contracts that start forming now in February, or collaboration, as I said, or collaborators coming to you, even relationships or partnerships coming to you in some way. The ruler of the seventh in the first house approaching you. And of course, March, you're like, is it worth? Is there better terms or condition, or can between the two of us, or should we change a bit the rules, or if there is no agreement from both sides, should we end it as well? That's the more sharper side of the Venus retrograde, but ultimately always it's for the better, always for the better. And I've also noticed when Venus stays for prolonged periods in someone's sign, the ascendant, or even the sun and the moon, by the end of the period, you become more attractive. Venus is the sweet juice of life. It's like honey. In astrology, Venus rules honey. It rules also the layer between the skin that plumps it up, and that The beauty, the skin, the hair is partly owned by Venus together with Saturn. So Venus can improve your appearance overall with the corrective period during the retrograde, where you start doing something differently, March, April, which will give results towards May. But this is also, that your magnetism, because Venus is magnetic, it attracts to you. So this magnetic power is coming to you. This loving, when you feel love flowing throughout you, through you, Venus can start opening the heart chakra of love as well. Again, it makes you more magnetic. It attracts the right alliances, the right opportunities for you, and very likely material, financial, relational in some way, or business connected. And Venus, just money and all of those things. Again, the retrograde period, some correction is needed. Don't think it just flows, and there's some personal effort that you have to put, but the final results are always good. So yeah, this is Venus for you guys starting in February. The other big event is the whole month. The North Node and Neptune are together in your 12th house. And they come together every 15 or 16 years, something like that. So this is once in a 15, 16-year cycle that is happening in your 12th house, starting now, the beginning of it. Well, that's the house of dreams, sleep. So Aries can have very vivid dreams for a month, even from January into April as well, into March, because the area of the subconscious is strongly activated by the North Node, which always magnifies the energy of the house it's transiting. And Neptune is like the same energy as the 12th house and Pisces. So we have triple whammy, 12th house, Pisces, and Neptune energy, which is enhanced, so 4 times, quadruple, 5-fold intensity of Pisces this month for everyone in the world. And that's dreamy, eerie, and a bit surreal energy. And for you, it's happening in the area of the subconscious. So you might feel that certain memories, even past life memories, are coming to the surface. Many people rework through unprocessed feelings in their dreams, like, someone upset you at high school and you keep dreaming of this situation, or you had some intense emotional period, you keep reliving it and dreaming it in similar circumstances, or that you're being examined at school, or someone that broke your heart, you keep dreaming of them. Well, such themes can escalate, and don't think it's just, nightmares bothering me, or why I don't want to go back there. Know that through this process, even if you wake up like overwhelmed by, sometimes dreams are so vivid. When Neptune and North Node are together in Pisces, everyone will be having really vivid dreams, believe me. And you wake up and you're like, actually you're working through unprocessed feelings, placing them. Your subconscious is doing its own personal counseling or psychology work, your higher self in the dream world. So your dreams can be quite intense or vivid. Things from the past might be coming up. You might need more sleep than normal. This Neptunian energy of sleep dream is highly increased. And of course, Venus in your sign for 3 months, 4 months, it's about giving better self-nourishment to yourself, pampering, but not in a way pamper yourself by drinking champagne and eating, heavy, rich foods. The high vibration of Venus with natural healing substances, with massages, with taking care of your body, of your health, nourishing you with the most natural ways. Music, sounds. Venus also has this vibration. While Neptune, and you're also giving your body the ability to heal, while your subconscious is healing with Neptune and the South Node there. You might even have a lot of, not in your dream only, but in everyday life, like presentiments, because the 12th house is very psychic, and the energy of Neptune is psychic, and the North Node thins the veils between the two worlds. You might dream of departed past people, loved ones. You might get messages from the invisible world. You might just have very strong premonitions about the future or something about your life. So pay attention to those signs. That it's really the portal to the invisible world is strongly open the whole of February for all of us collectively. But you, Aries in particular, even one more degree above everyone, because it's also happening in your 12th house of the subconscious and the invisible worlds. You might have some incredible insights from a psychic, or in situation of meditation, in situation of self-introspection. This is the 12th house. But I have to warn you, 12th house is also the house of self-undoing habits and addictions. You might, on the positive side, see and realize the reasons for such kind of self-sabotaging behaviors, and because the North Node brings them to the surface, more of the consciousness. But of course, North Node enhances everything it touches. 12th house, Neptune, Pisces, so all kinds of self-sabotaging behaviors might escalate initially. Yeah, to work with them, to heal them, hopefully, eventually. Also, there might be some hidden activities that's happening that is, the need for, okay, let's start with the positive side, the need for seclusion, to rework through those emotions and those impressions, and healing of those wounds and self-sabotaging behaviors. Or escapist tendencies can escalate, might be like staying on your phone a long time, or watching TV too much, or drinking, or such kind of matters. But hopefully Venus here in the first house will make you take balanced decisions, because this is what it does, balanced and healing decisions for yourself, and this will help with the healing, the Neptune South Node in the 12th house. Another thing it can do, yes, it can help you release. Neptune in 12th house and Pisces is about releasing, and South Node enhances it. Release things from the past. That is time for them to go. The whole February and March is very intense period for that. And for it to happen with ease. Neptune is not a forceful planet. Neptune just feels like, oh, okay, I'm letting it flow. It's time for it to go. I'm not attached to it anymore. Neptune is not an attaching planet. And the South Node enhances those easy flowing energy of the Neptune and the 12th house and the Pisces. I'm releasing it. And I have to mention 12 houses, not only self-sabotaging behaviors, but also hidden enemies. Usually we're our hidden enemy. We can become clear about what are those actions that cause us to be our own hidden enemy. But we can also, in February, in March, it continues as well. But also with the South Node there, and don't forget Saturn is also there. So there's a lot going on in this 12th house, and Mercury is there, a big part. So a lot of going on for Aries in this 12th house of the subconscious. It's about endings, completions, deciding what is worth staying in your life, and maybe and releasing it. But it's also hidden enemies. So what can it do there? You can recognize if someone is doing something behind your back now and release them. But it's also very forgiving influence, the North Node and Neptune. Instead of creating the resentment, just release it and move forward, so you're not stuck in the past. And 12th house is connected to foreign lands, faraway places. There can be some major important developments. A new cycle is starting there, for traveling for you, for faraway, relocations even, that starts clarifying into your head in some way. Or something to do, 12 houses, research, research of some sort, or especially spiritual, psychological work, self-introspection, or anything to do with, astrology, psychology, mysteries. You might be very drawn to such more spiritual work, or 12 houses to do something hidden behind the scene. I mean, if you have criminal inclinations, this conglomeration there can put you into further trouble. You put yourself into some kind of a shady deals, behind the scene things. Let's hope you don't go there, because it's also the house of deception. Someone coming to you as a friend, as a with positive attitude, but actually behind the scene having something else. So you have to be a bit cautious about that. Thankfully, Saturn is also in the 12th. So any kind of shady, such kind of behind the scene things that are happening will quickly be, the bubble will be burst of this illusion, because after that the North Node will join with Saturn towards, I think it was April Yes, something like that towards April. And it will, any kind of deception, so behind the scene going on, whether you're doing it will be found out, or whether someone else is doing it to you will be also revealed. All right, so this is, but a lot of imaginative, psychic energy. You're really tuned to the pulse of the cosmic and to the invisible worlds, to invisible entities, even. I mean, some of you might even hear voices. You never know. But others, you just have hunches, and intuition will be very powerful for you. Like signs, the 12th house speaks with symbology, with signs, with premonitions, with pictures, with sounds, with impressions. You'll be very impressionable, remember as well that. And something about completions, endings that you're working on to finish some cycle there. But now let's go to the other big theme. Jupiter is turning retrograde straight at the, turning direct at the beginning of the month in your third house, Aries. So if there was some delay with certain projects that are connected to media, to writing, to speaking, to business, to commerce, to transactions, to learning something, to communications with documents and papers. If there was any delays, gradually Jupiter into February will show you a turnaround. Things will start moving forward. Are you working on a website and it's getting delayed? Are you working on some branding or business project in collaboration or small team group environment kind of, and it starts moving forward gradually, maybe not very fast, because Jupiter pretty much stays on the same degree, 11, 12 degrees of Gemini in your third house, but there is change of direction and for the better, for things to start improving, or if there were some complications in relationships with siblings, with relatives, with teammates, with people in your environment, or social delays, or kind of blockage of your social interactions or business interactions, it starts picking up. And for the next till June, you're gonna have so from February to June, only Jupiter is moving direct in your third house, new acquaintances, new friendships, new business connection. If you're in business, this is also following or connecting with clients that starts thriving. New, more social interactive, more projects connected to business, to media, to marketing. It starts going well. It starts moving forward, and more trips, or easily if trips and travel or transportation start moving easy, or you can pick up some new skill. I'm really gonna take this driving lesson finally. I'm really gonna take, I know how to drive, but I don't have a driving license, so I've really decided from the beginning of February I'm gonna do it. So these things will, anything with learning, with communication, with devices, with information, or you can start courses, classes, teaching or learning, or buying a car, transportation, moving more. This all starts becoming easier and moving ahead. And then Mars also turns direct Aries for everyone towards the 23rd, 24th of February, which means most of February is still retrograde in your fourth house. And especially those areas that are around 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 degrees of Aries, Mars is squaring them. And affecting also maybe relationships that can feel a little bit more stressful, but also a bit more pressure on you, a bit more irritable, explosive, those middle degrees of Aries. And all Aries generally, almost the whole of March, they can feel more tested by relationships with family, life in family. They might have to do some changes in regards to family, place of living, repairs, corrections. Or they might have lack of clarity about something, about where they're going to live, or plans for family, or they might be tense relationships with parents, or you as a parent might be challenged. And like for me, it's like I'm reevaluating how to parent with this Mars retrograde there, and where we're gonna live, and all of those things. You have to still fix Mars. It's a fixer upper, wants to fix those things there. You have almost pretty much the whole of February to deal with that. Yeah, it is stressful in the fourth house, but I would advise you to do something dynamic with family, fix something, repair something, clean more the house so it doesn't escalate into arguments with family members or just feeling emotionally restless. So move furniture around, something like finish up home project that you haven't finished. That's something good for Mars in the fourth house. Of course, be careful for accidents around the house. Don't leave, the anything like the don't leave the stove, and you have to be more careful with such things. You see, with Mars retrograde in Cancer, the sign of houses, what happened in LA, the fires, lots of homes and families burned off and so on. But I'm not saying this will happen to you, Aries. It's just that, but from the end of February 23rd, 24th, Mars changes direction. And the good thing is that the whole month Mars is trined by Saturn. So even things are not those kind of fires at home, metaphorical, like, or emotional instability or feeling emotionally triggered, it's mitigated by the Saturn trine. Somehow Saturn really contains the martial desire to explode, like now, like every day my dad, because he's Cancer rising and Mars is in my fourth house, comes and is very angry and is and I'm on the verge of exploding and getting angry with him, but because Saturn is making a trine to Mars, I feel how, escalates, but we tone it down, you keep it in control. So any kind of problems at home, family, emotionally, if you feel triggered, or if you have sometimes the fourth house is the lungs, the breast, any kind of stomach issues, it starts improving after the 24th onwards. And any delays with home, property, real estate, or complications with family situations starts getting easier and starts getting resolved and starts moving forward. So there you go. But I think Jupiter is really one thing that you're going to enjoy a lot, more social connectivity. Venus, you're going to appreciate, definitely keeping you cool, keeping you zen. Venus is a very zen, pleasant planet with more enjoyments of the senses and so on, especially in February. So yeah, I think it's pretty good, Aries. Thank you.